And hello, everybody. Meteorologist Hutch Johnson joining you. We have a ripper of a clipper set for the weekend. And oh, by the way, some snow showers, deteriorating road conditions out to the west as we speak. Your live interactive weather update begins right now. Bring your questions. I've got Pedro down here too. We're ready to talk weather right now. But first, a note from my friends at Robert Gibbons Sons. Do you have a room that's difficult to control that temperature in and you don't have ducts? Hey, it's no hassle. Get a Bryant system, whatever it takes, installed by Robert Gibbons Sons, and you could get up to $2,000 in a tax rebate. Call Robert Gibbons Sons today for the latest on the details. With that, let's talk about this radar, shall we? All right, let's look at the forecast and the radar here. First, we have a snow shower system moving through Minot. It stretches all the way to the Badlands of South Dakota, Black Hills, and Point East. See the green in there? That means there's some rain mixing in with this system, and we could have some slippery roads. We're going to check that in a minute. This system is going to move through the state as we go into the morning hours. There'll be some impacts for that as we go through. Right now, let's take a look at the road conditions to show you just exactly how this system is impacting the North Dakota roads and the Montana roads in particular. Where you see the yellows on this map here, the good old key says there's some ice and compacted snow on area roads. Where you see the purples on the roads here, the good old key says those are snow-covered roads. So the western one half of North Dakota being impacted by this weather-making system as it works its way off to the east. Pardon me while I pull up a camera view or two, and let's look in on the Minot area as we take you into town right now. You can see kind of some wet lenses there, or wet lens on top of the the Minot area lens right now. Thank you for joining me, by the way. We'll check in with your questions here in just 1 minute. Now, as we sneak off to the east, let's get into Williston, shall we? Right at the border, we have some wet streets there. Most of the heavier snow showers are out for now, but there's more out to the west of you, out in parts of eastern Montana. The road's definitely looking wet, and remember, some of this falling as rain behind the system. A gusty northwest wind is going to take hold, and that means we could have some cold, wet roads becoming sloppy, icy roads. And that's the case according to the DOT with these yellow roads showing up here in the west. Check this out as we go out towards Wadford City. This is definitely no fun. Do you see that? The snow is accumulating on the road. This is US 85 in western North Dakota, north and south. So very slushy, very wet snow working its way through that region. Now the I-94 corridor showing up with some snow coverage out there. Let's go right out into that Medora area. Oh no, beach. It's no picnic there. Look at this. This is I-94. So if you're traveling, share this update so that those traveling can get the update, of course, with a passenger watching it, not the driver, because you can watch Hutch's weather or listen to it right in the palm of your hand on hutchesweather.com or right here on Facebook. So that's a look at the North Dakota roads. Let's take a quick peek at Montana roads as this system is still producing a little bit of flaky material and even some showers of rain across portions of not Minnesota. Let's go to Montana. I grabbed the wrong M. Okay, here we are. That's Montana. Now, as we take a look at the map, what you're going to notice here, you're looking right at the border area here. So we're looking at Highway 2 up north. We're looking at the I-94 corridor as it makes its way in towards Glendive. Here is a look at Webo, Montana, and look at this. There is some stuff stuck onto the lens right here. Let me go ahead and enlarge this just a little bit, and we'll sneak through the coverage looks there, and we can see definitely a snowy view from I-94 in eastern Montana. This isn't that far from what we were seeing out there in the Medora area. Now, if we get up on the Highway 2 corridor, pardon me while I sneak down and look at an area just north of, let's go to Glasgow, north of Glasgow, Montana, and we definitely are seeing some white on the road surface there as well. So sticky roads, that system's working its way through. Here's a quick peek at the forecast for that, but coming up, you don't want to miss it. We're going to compare the models for the weekend clipper that looks to be clipping the region as well. Let's get right to a look at your hour-by-hour forecast as we go into the evening hours for tonight. Now, there have been a couple of models that aren't showing the magnitude of snow like this one right here. This particular model starting off with just a little light spit of snow, and really it's looking like it's more impactful than this. So I'd call this model up. It's off to a bad start, okay? It's like forgetting to start the race when they say go. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at a couple of different models with this system and find one that is doing a little better, more gooder job of getting out of the gates. So this model I'm not too impressed with. Let's go to one that impresses me much, and let's take a look at this. Now, this model having a little bit more of a grasp of the magnitude of the flakiness working its way through. Let's put this into motion. South winds here keeping us milder as we go through the overnight. Pausing this at midnight, it's moving through Minot into Rugby and the Botno Hills area. Now, it sags all the way back into the Black Hills. Notice how pencil thin this band of snow becomes. That means for us, as we go towards daybreak, here's about 4 to 6 in the morning, that we'll have a shot of snow that will be fast moving through the area and brief. We'll start with lighter winds and southerly winds first thing in the morning, and it will bring some measurable snow to our area. I'll have more on that in a second. But as you see here, the isobars are very close together. That means gusty north winds on the backside of this system, and that's going to usher in this. Way up here is the coldest of the air. It'll take a while to get here, but make no mistake about it, we're on our way into the cool pool. This system's out of here. As you look at Minneapolis and out towards Duluth, it looks like it'll impact those areas as we get into the afternoon hours. This is 1 in the afternoon, and that's it. That's about all I got to say about this system. See if I can fashion up some conjure up some information here on the snowfall forecast for you. Whoop, whoop. Just load up the right graphic. I got some sound effects for you. Sorry about that, but that's kind of how we roll here when I'm changing my system around a little bit, so I'm having some fun and looking for stuff all at the same time. Is this the right stuff? Let's see. Boom! This is the right stuff. A trace to an inch of snow. Notice this model's not showing anything really out here in Williston where we have snow on the ground. Minot, same thing. So you can take this whole area that this cold front is moving through, and it's 1 to 3 inches of snow out to the west. I would not be surprised if we get a few reports of a little bit higher than that in a couple of spots. For us, a trace to a 1/2 of an inch for most. Some of us getting up to an inch. All right, now I've got some fun for you. And the 7-day planner, if I can pull this up right over here, let's see if it's up. Here it is. 7-day planner shows the north winds cooling us off to 9 on Friday morning, and then it looks like temperatures around 20 degrees. A trace to an inch for most of us here from the Thursday system. And as we go into Saturday, here comes the clipper clipping in. It'll be in the afternoon. We'll get snow showers that last into Sunday. It will come with some wind and breezy conditions. Look at the temperatures on Sunday. We start at 15 in the morning. That's what this means. 15, and the old down arrow is bad news. You know what that means? It's like sending the invitation to Uncle Snotsicles. And here he comes. Boom! 11 below as we go into Monday. This system gone, but I still got it highlighted in red because I think it's going to be an icebox again. In fact, temperatures between 11 below and 14 below as we go into the morning on Tuesday, and then finally starting to warm up late in the week. We'll get some of those ice crystals in the air, so I expect you to be sending me pictures of halos and sun doggies out there. Now, let's talk about this model comparison about this system right here. Here's meteorology. Models. When we go out beyond day 2, we start getting a lot of different solutions sometimes. Do they look the same? I'm going to show you what us meteorologists look at when it comes to that. Are you interested in seeing this? Let's see. Thanks a lot for joining me, Nathan. It's good to have you on board. Marlene, thank you much. Jamestown checking in. Good to have you on. Arlen, thank you. Bring the snow, man. Okay, let's get rid of Mr. Snotsicles and let's bring in the snowman. That sounds good to me. Shirley says, Burr from Moorhead. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to the cold. Clarine, good to have you on board as well. So, I see no specific questions. Let me see. Bonnie says heat wave and then snot balls. Yeah, those are kind of no fun, you know, but sometimes that happens when you catch a cold, right? Balls of, never mind. Okay, let's get into this model comparison talk. What I've put together for you is a tool that I use in meteorology to quickly compare models and how they're doing with the storm. How do we know what the track looks like when we can compare them? Well, it's like taking a bunch of maps that are printed on paper together and sticking them next to each other, and this is what it looks like. Are you ready? Let's take a look at the position of the low on noon on Saturday. This is noon Saturday. Several different models is what we're looking at, and they're rotating through. What you're going to notice is this propensity for the lows to be centered in central, north, and central South Dakota. So the aerial coverage or the aerial position of this low pressure system and Alberta Clipper that will be moving out of Alberta will diagonally move across the state. A couple of models hint that it could be a little bit farther south. Many models have a band of snow wrapping from eastern Montana right up into southern parts of Manitoba and Saskatchewan, right into northern Minnesota as we go into our Saturday morning. So in the eastern third of the state, Saturday morning is the beginning of the impacts, but more so in the afternoon with the accumulation. By Saturday night, much of the area could have some travel impacts. So we can take a look at the track of this and we can kind of get a feel that many of them are starting to narrow down the possibilities to the position of this low for Central Saturday. Stay tuned as this becomes more confined or refined into a specific position by more models. We'll have a better feel. And this precipitation field could really change a little bit too based on some of our understanding and measurements of actual moisture that are going to be in the air when this clipper moves through. One thing I can tell you from years of experience of forecasting Alberta clippers, this system here, you know, we just had a pretty strong one move through, about a month ago, and that system, it was an Alberta clipper, and it really rocked. It brought a lot of snow. Not all clippers do. Many of them move through too fast. Many of them are early in their life cycle, so they're just getting to the point of intensifying when they move over us. And because of that, we usually see more blow than snow with an Alberta clipper. But this system here, well, this one looks to be kind of dragging through. It's taking its sweet time from Saturday morning, Saturday noon, Saturday night, Sunday morning. So because it's going to take a full 24 hours, maybe a little bit more to get through, some areas could see 12 to 18 hours of snowfall. And even at light amounts, that's going to bring some travel impacts. And as a bonus in this coverage, and let's see if we have any questions here before we move on. If you have questions about how we compare models, okay, good enough. Let's move on to a comparison of snowfall forecasts. The numbers that you see here are not a forecast. It's really the potential, how much snowflakes might fall from these systems on these different models. We're going through the same thing. We're looping through several different types of models here and origins of models. Okay, and we're looking at their solution for how much snow is on the ground by the time we get to Sunday morning. So by Sunday morning, the low pressure system will be well into parts of southern South Dakota, maybe Iowa. A couple of these have it dragging into central parts of Minnesota, and that would really lift that snow north and give you a chance in northern Minnesota. But there's really only one model that's showing that. There seems to be more of a consensus of impacts from, say, the oil patch right here, the eastern plains of Montana, particularly you folks in Baker and Ekalaka, formerly known as Joe, Montana. Now, this spreads right down into the Black Hills. All models show enhanced snowfall around the Black Hills. The snow amounts, I'll say this, and I said this yesterday. Anywhere we see these blue colors, there's a good chance of up to 2 inches of snow. Some of us will see even more. Now, a couple of these models are getting excited about this system, showing some white and pink, there you saw it, pink snowfall amounts. So some models are advertising over 4 inches of snow for some in our area. Do I think that's possible? For the reasons I explained before, if this system is dragging its toes, lollygagging as it moves through the area, it's going to bring us some more flakes in a few areas. And it's coming with colder air in place. Therefore, it's going to be more of the fluffy, flyy snow that will accumulate and even blow a little bit. So as this system moves through, be prepared on Saturday, midday, and into morning hours on Sunday. That Saturday night, Sunday morning will bring the biggest impacts to travel across our region. It's not a huge blizzard-like system. It's not a system that looks to be likely to produce 8 inches of snow. It looks like a system that could impact travel. And again, we'll highlight the fact that you can get the latest in your travel information by checking out good old Hutch's website, hutchesweather.com. So let me see if I can find a detailed analysis of where that is at. Here we go. Okay, so now if we go to hutchesweather.com, just because not everybody has seen this, I want to take a minute and show you that as you are looking at Hutch's weather page, I've got all these fine sponsors up here, and without them, I wouldn't have a website. So it's thanks to all of these fine businesses. The other night we talked about Evco. I'm going to mention real briefly my friend David Eggers at State Farm Insurance. If you have a young driver, for instance, and you want a quote that's fair and someone who's really going to look and dig for discounts for you and your family for that young driver, click on this button, get the link, give them a call, and give David Eggers a chance to give you a quote for you and your family. Home insurance, life insurance, you name it, they can get you covered there. Again, David Eggers, State Farm Insurance. Now, here's a look at the interactive radar. That's fantastic. That's always been there. But you know what? In this winter time of the year, you want to know what the roads look like. And maybe you're traveling through southern Manitoba, maybe Minnesota, maybe Iowa. Maybe you're looking out there out in Montana in the big sky country. No matter what province you are in the region or what state you are here in our region, we've got you covered. All you got to do is click on this button right over here that says, it says road conditions. So we're going to do that together real quickly and show you what these road conditions look like while I move this screen over here so I can see what I'm clicking on. There we go. Okay, so road conditions will bring you to this page. You can select your state or province, right? Manitoba, Saskatchewan, you are included. And this is a trick of the trade. When you get to the map, it shows you the road conditions, and you can turn the key on by looking at the legend. But I want to point this out right here. You see that little camera? That's the neat part where you can see what those cameras are seeing on some of these roads. We don't have cameras everywhere. The Department of Transportation has a number of them though. So we can turn these cameras on, and there you have it. This is exactly what Hutch shows you when we do a broadcast. And this information is at your fingertips whenever you want to travel. You can grab hutchesweather.com right on your mobile device right here, and then you can have the latest information on what you're traveling into. Super important because we have to make good decisions when we're driving. And if there are any alerts for travel, like no travel advisories and such, they'll show up on the North Dakota map here as well. And again, I've got maps for Iowa, for Montana, for Manitoba, for Nebraska, and for Wyoming as well. So no matter where you're traveling, you can get the latest in your road conditions from hutchesweather.com. Drop me a comment. Have you used this product before? What would improve this website? I want to hear from you because you have helped also design and build this. All right, let's see here. Chris says, appreciate it. Thank you much for the weather information. You're welcome, Chris. Thank you for watching. And please pass the good word that Hutch is here doing weather. I run into people all the time that say, what? Hutch does weather still? I thought he was retired. Are you kidding me? What? No, I'm not retired. I got a few good years left in me. A lot of good years, I hope. And Lord willing, I'll be here talking about the weather as long as I can still make sense of what I'm saying. So that's good for me, and I hope it's good for you. All right, I appreciate you all. Thank you very, very much. Carry on, Hutch, and that's exactly what we'll do. Thank you much. Okay, Arlen says, love watching you. I hold a bunch of people. I'll tell a bunch of people about me. Good enough. And tomorrow I get the lucky fortune of traveling and visiting with some folks as well about the weather. And I just love to do that. So I'm looking forward to meeting a bunch of you up in Devil's Lake. You know who you are. A big ag meeting up there, and the extension agency up there putting on a huge talk. I can't wait to talk about the weather. And we'll have some roads that will be a little challenging, but not too challenging. Like I said, not a blizzard, but some slush and snow on our area roads will be a possibility. All right, I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. Please remember to click the follow button here on Facebook. It helps me out a great deal. I'm heading towards 60,000 followers. Will you help me get there, please? Click on follow. You'll get updates from me in your stream more often when you're a follower, and well, it's easier to find my content right there. Again, subscribe on YouTube. I've got a big video on there, by the way, for those of you that are interested. A huge, and I mean huge, winter storm is making its way through the deep south, and I've got a detailed analysis of what's going on now and what we expect to happen. Big time icing, big time snow from Mexico along the Rio Grande Valley. Snow? Are you kidding me? In Mexico? Yes, there's snow, and that update is on my YouTube channel. So please visit Hutch's YouTube channel, watch that. Remember, it's more of a national perspective and not focused on North Dakota or Montana or Minnesota. but it's sure interesting because our neighbors in the deep south are getting it. Already, 1-foot snowstorm rocked through Kansas City and St. Louis. This one looks to take a track through Arkansas, northern parts of Mississippi. What? Snow? It's possible. And then followed by some deep freeze cold. So that's a look at your weather. I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. Thanks for joining me tonight. I hope you have a wonderful night. We'll touch base again tomorrow. Remember, some unsettled weather will work its way through. It shouldn't be too unsettling if you give yourself extra time and distance to get there safely. For now, I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. Appreciate each and every one of you. Have yourself a wonderful night, and we'll talk again soon.